Hey everybody, what's up? It is Janet, and welcome to my audio August series. This is a time where I chat with you, no video necessary. I'm just sitting here on my couch to connect with you about certain mindset aspects that might challenge the goings on in your business. So, to no delay, let's get going. All right, so the subject for this week, again, is back to basics. What does someone like you do? Okay, so last week, if you need to check it out, it was all about who do you think you are? I just say that with a little attitude, but I don't mean it meanly. This is something that we have to be strong in, okay? We have to be strong in our purpose and our beliefs and how we identify ourselves as small business owners. Okay, so let me take this a little bit deeper because I did touch about this in last week's talk, but I just want to kind of niggle into this conversation. Okay, so let's talk about you now, okay, which is awesome, of course, and then future you, okay, your goals. Based upon your goals, that person could be 6 months to a year, whatever, who's 6 months after you, who has achieved the goals that you have set for yourself based upon your purpose and your belief system and your identity. Okay, so now that we have your identity, we kind of have to dig into the who, what, when, where, why, and how side of you. So think of future you. So for me, I'm just going to think of Janet, 2022 Janet, and just see who that person is in my quick mind's eye. So who is that person? That person is a mom of a high schooler and a fourth grader. Okay, so what does that person do? How does that person juggle her family life and the needs of her family and her business? Okay, what does this person do on a daily basis? Think of future you. If you're 50K you and you're looking at 100K you, which is your future self, what does that person do on a day-to-day basis? You can really break it down and kind of envision them. Use your imagination and go through each day. What do they do? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What do they do? Do they sleep in late? Do they exercise? Do they eat healthy? Do they meet up with friends? Do they prioritize health? What does that person do, that future you? When? I said 6 months to a year. It doesn't matter. It could be a month from now. Okay? I love those micro goals that we set for ourselves. So when is this person? When are they on your timeline? Where are they? I'm a Connecticut girl. I will always be an East Coast girl, I feel. I don't know when I retire. I don't think I'm going to be a West Coast person. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the one time I visited, I certainly felt like, kind of a fish out of water. I couldn't get the whole, chillin', sunny mindset. Maybe I'm a little too cynical for that. But where's future you? Is it living in a big house, a smaller house? Is it on a lake? And what did it take for that person to get to those goals? Okay. And what do you have to do to get there? Okay. Why? Again, always marry yourself to your purpose because that energy will sustain you through any challenge. And also how? How do we get there? Now, for me, I am a huge believer in teamwork and collaboration. But in our Western society, we feel like, oh no, we can't delegate. Nobody else can do it as good as me. I just have to carry it all on my own. So how are you going to get there? Are you going to get there all by yourself? Or are you going to get there with some strategic partners in mind? Could be a coach, could be an accountant, a lawyer, whatever you need. How is that person going to get to where they want to go? And this is a weird conversation because it does feel kind of like I'm talking about the third person. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people talk about themselves in the third person. But I think that for this exercise, it really helps us get out of those bad habits or those less desirable habits that we might be, feeding right now. So, for example, I am really into the Real Housewives of Atlanta right now. Years ago, I was really into Real Housewives of New Jersey. So when I found that it's on Hulu, and I saw all of all of the different series are on there with all their seasons that I've missed. 12 seasons worth, and I am just sucked in. But guess what? I don't binge watch, but after a hard day of work of pushing it, I do treat myself. I treat myself to one or two episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta because I just need to laugh. I just need something silly. Also, a couple things that we need to think about as far as success and achieving our goals. Think about what does someone like you do? Okay, so are you having inconsistency issues right now? Are you not prepping for your talks or presentations? Are you just winging it? Would a person just winging it kind of get to those goals? Or would you might need to, schedule in some prep work? Also, a follower versus leader. When you want to step up, say in a collaborative group environment, are you going to sit down and take notes and do what other people tell you? Maybe. But can you try to leverage out some of those strengths that you have to help the group along? I think that would be a better choice. We're all different leaders. We all have that leadership ability. Let's also talk about what does someone like you do? Okay, so someone who gets to your goals that you're intending, they work on one path of clarity. They know what's going on. Okay, so in small businesses, I see this a lot where we all are nurturers and we have bleeding hearts and we just want to save the world. That's certainly a nurturer. But we might have to pivot from that. Is that really a lucrative niche? Niche. I don't know, niche. I don't know, I say both. So if you're a person who's intending to make more money in your business, you really need to look at that, and not treat your business like a charity, okay? Also, successful business owners, they have signature systems that can help somebody wrap their minds about how you help them. It's more clear. It's not like, oh, I help you in your business and I help you get clear and I help you. It's not like that. It's like, nope, I have a profit breakthrough program in which I will help you get from A to B within 3 months. Okay, you see how clarity brings it to the table? It certainly helps you get it done, okay? Also, someone like you who has those goals in mind, they also are clear on pricing and packaging. They know their product or their service inside and out, and they're really clear on the deposits they need and the boundaries around payment plan and collections. They're comfortable with closing sales because, you know what, when you become comfortable, it's not so much about closing somebody or convincing somebody, it's just really connecting and knowing what they need, understanding what they need. And also, if you're a person who wants to grow your business and say go from 50K to 100K, whatever, you need systems in place. I've had a coach who used to describe her business as being held together by duct tape and toothpicks. Now, we all do that in the beginning, right? We all kind of scramble to get it done. But once starts the money coming in and the workload gets harder, you're going to have to create real systems in your business to help you manage it all, right? Help you manage the back end, helps you onboard your employees, whatever it takes so that the back end doesn't get in the way of growing your business. So for you, I want you to really think about that. What does someone like you do? Okay, are there any habits that you need to let go of? It's okay. It's okay to let go of habits. But for now, I'm going to let you go, and I will catch you on the next call. Okay, bye.